Yes. No, you know what? Yes. I see. Hi.
Questions for both of you.
Okay.
What if your kids decide to become an actor?
Oh, God.
If they decide to become an actor?
Hey. You know, I hope they don't. I hope mine do not become actors. It can be it's a very fickle existence at times, unless you've been exactly. So we've been very, very, very lucky, but I have dear friends who are talented and hardworking and can't catch a break for the life of them. And it can be very, yeah. And so, yeah, so however, if Tom or his sibling or siblings loves it, you know, I hope he's happy. I hope they're all happy, whatever the next ones end up being.
Yeah. I'd probably say, here's $100. Once you go to Vegas, you got a better chance. What's that? Did my dad say that to me?
It was $50.
No, my father, for those of you who don't know, is also an actor. But he was supportive, but he was also very realistic. He didn't, you know, he gave me very, very good advice on how to navigate the rejection, which is inevitable, because being an actor, it's literally a game of numbers. You know, the more auditions you go on, the more people you meet, something's bound to hit at some point, right? But you really got to get out there. But with that, there's a lot of rejection. So you develop a thick skin very quickly, or you have to, in order just to, you know, sleep at night. So he was very helpful in that, but he didn't necessarily give me a monetary limit. He gave me a time limit. He said the deal was I got 6 months, and he would support me for 6 months, and I probably could have renegotiated that. But I was skipping college to do it, so he was like, I'll give you 1 semester, and if nothing happens, you gotta get your butt back to Texas and go to school. And luckily for me, it happened quicker than a lot of people, and that was just the luck of the draw. I mean, I was just being very fortunate. Right time, right place.
You know, I think I've had time to think about it a little bit. For my children, if they love it, and not for the fame or for the glory or for the attention, but they love it, like I did. I was not a cool kid in school by any means. I was too small to play sports because I didn't grow until I was like, hey guys. But I found my escape and I found my identity through acting and through telling stories, through telling somebody else's story. So I loved it. And sure, the allure of, you know, celebrity and whatnot was there as well, but I loved acting. And I think if I had not made it, I think I'd still love it, you know? So if that's where my children stand, then, you know, follow your heart.
Yeah, I think as a parent, you know, you want to encourage your kid in any talent that they possess or that they're passionate about. You know, whether it's acting or shoemaking. You know, it's like if that's something that they are into and that you see that they obviously have a knack for it and a talent for it, then of course you want to encourage that. You know, it's just being supportive, I guess. So yeah, we'll see. But God, I hope they don't.
We'll see. All right.
Hi.
My question is for both of y'all. When y'all first started acting, how long did it take for y'all to lose your Texas drawl? And when you come back home to Texas, does it just automatically come back?
Well, we both grew up in a big city. I mean, he was Dallas and I was San Antonio, so it's not, there aren't super thick draws. I think it's lazy, they call it lazy speech. Like getting rid of lazy speech, saying I get it, instead of I get it, you know, or I remember it again. What? We're talking about like how to do, we did classes in high school actually. We had vocalists come by and do classes in high school, talk about, it's called correct something speech. Like Atlanta, no, Atlanta, the accent, the American accent is actually a certain,
A non-regional accent.
yeah, like a non-regional, yeah.
Y'all do?
Anyway, we did it in high school. We did it, so I don't really remember. It was part of a class we took and stuff like that.
And I grew up just north of here, about 20 minutes. But my mother wasn't raised in Texas. She didn't have a Texas accent. And my father is in the industry. He does a lot of voiceover work, does a lot of commercials and stuff like that. So he really couldn't have, I don't know. Dad, did you work on losing your accent?
Yeah, I had to in order to work.
Yeah, he had to lose the accent in order to work.
Well, you responded with a less thick accent, so I
Yeah, I had to in order to work. I had to. But Mom, I'll tell you what, it has been hard going. Get her done. I digress. So I didn't have a heavy influence of accents growing up in the house, so that probably helped me lose it when I needed to lose it. So, but yes, to answer your second part of your question, I think it both kind of comes out a little bit more heavy in us when we come back to home and hang out with our buddies. Yeah.
and China bar.
Thank you.
Yes, go ahead.
Hi. In season 8, you had shoot with your father, so I'm wondering how was, because he was director and in this episode, and it wasn't too hard to give him order.
Yeah, I didn't really direct. My dad was in the last episode that I directed, and yeah, I didn't really direct my dad. And it's kind of a funny ground. I just kind of suggested things to him. I'm like, hey, Dad, I don't know, if you're feeling it, maybe you want to hit this mark. Because the camera's over here. And he'd look at it and be like, yeah, I could do that. Like, whatever, I mean, there's fine too, whatever you want, just, okay. And I turn around to the crew and be like, no, my dad was awesome. He was, and he gave a little speech after he was done shooting to the crew, and was brought a few of them to tears actually. Just how thankful he was that they had been such a family to me, and while because I don't get to see my family very often, so. Yeah, that was a real pleasure just having him on set and getting to work with him, and there wasn't a whole lot of directing. I kind of let him do what he does, and that's and I didn't need to direct him. Yeah, so thank you for your question. Yeah. All right, guys, I gotta roll. We'll see you later. Thank you. You guys are amazing.